Ladies and gentlemen, g'day, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Economics Mate. I'm going to be talking about a topic today that I wasn't really expecting to be talking about, but after seeing this Black Friday event and a couple other things pop up, I thought it was very much necessary to talk about. And that is World of Tanks Blitz dying? Is Wotb actually dying? Now, a subscriber of mine and a supporter of the channel, Hans and Klaus, be sure to check out his channel down below. I want to try and get him to 100 subscribers. I'm going to put a link to this channel in the description below. He made a video, or both of them made a video, about Blitz dying. Is Blitz actually dying? And I have to agree with some stuff that they said and disagree with a couple other things. There are certain aspects of this game that is, in fact, dying. And I think one of the biggest ones, for me, is the number of crates that we have in this game. I mean, you guys have seen my video about mystery boxes and me buying these things and spending basically a crap ton on trying to get this thing here, the Project Kampfpanzer 070P. And obviously failing to get it because it's got like a 0.05% drop chance. But basically getting barely any other rewards despite opening like 127 mystery boxes. So you can understand my frustration and many other people's frustrations. Or like this, for example, the Vickers MBT container. Like, why do we need to spend 17,500 gold to open 10 of these containers for a chance of getting this tank? It's ridiculous, right? The point I'm trying to make is there's so many different containers and crates in Blitz, and it's so easy to sort of, I guess, expose people to gambling, essentially, and especially like doing things like these draws, for instance. Like, I get it. People want to open crates and they like the enjoyment of opening these containers and whatnot. But does it actually achieve anything for you? Like, you have to have extreme luck in order to get good rewards from the amount of money that we spend on these containers. And then some of us barely get anything at the end of the day. So, I don't understand. But then, then we talk about the game itself. So, like, I understand crates and draws and whatever. It is sort of killing the game. It's killing the vibe of the game, I think. And I think people need to understand, especially a lot of the veteran players, Wargaming are not going to remove crates and containers anytime soon because people are buying them. People are continuing to buy them. And I'm one of those culprits. I am one of those culprits that continue to buy these tanks. Or rather, these containers. And I guess people need to understand that if the consumers are still buying these things in record numbers, then they are not going to remove it because it's a good revenue stream for them and it's a good way of making profits. And it's I don't know. There's certain aspects that I think that they need to sort of improve on, and crates are definitely one of them. I'm not going to say entirely remove containers and crates, but do it in a way where it doesn't really entice the younger generation and the younger players to gamble. Because you're basically exposing these kids to, a sense that they're going to be able to actually win. Oh, I'm going to win. 100%, I'm going to win. It's not guaranteed that you're going to win. You might see a bunch of players on the, the Blitz Discord server winning all these tanks and having all this luck, and then you have yourself who spent all this gold and money and get absolutely nothing. That's how it works. So that is definitely an aspect of the game that I think is definitely dying. And I think people really need to understand that maybe you shouldn't focus too much on crates and containers and actually focus on the game itself and all the other good things that Wargaming has actually implemented into the game. I have to give Wargaming credit. Like, there are certain aspects of the game now that I thoroughly enjoy. I'll give you an example. Like the autoloading mechanism here on the T-57 Heavy, the PBR models, the reworking of the matchmaking, the reworking of just the tanks itself, the rebalancing at T10. Like, these things they've implemented recently has actually been very, very nice. I do get a nice shot there, by the way. I'd get 39 damage, like, it makes a big freaking difference, but it's still alright. The point I'm trying to make is that you can enjoy this game without having to spend a crap ton of money. That's the idea, right? But people seem to think that I have to spend in order to get good tanks and to grind up. You don't need to spend. I've met a lot of free-to-play players that have got T10 tanks because they just grinded. And they spent the time to grind. And you don't need to spend a lot of time. It's easier to grind to T10 than it ever was in previous years. Like, surprise, surprise, it's so much easier to grind tanks now than it was way back when. And I think the premise of grinding tanks now is just it's sort of a zero-sum equation. And there's sadly a lot of people out there who want to crap on wargaming for making it easier for newer players to get T10. Look, don't get me wrong. I definitely don't agree with having newer players who have barely any battles or experience be able to get a T10 tank like it's nothing, just purchase from the store. I don't agree with that one bit. I am very much on par with what his Raw Fatness used to say about T10 tanks being available to newer players. Like, they shouldn't be able to buy a T10 tank when they first start the game. Like, they shouldn't be able to. What they should be able to is just purchase gold or other resources and whatnot, and maybe a couple crates, but they shouldn't be allowed to have a T10 tank. Now, in terms of grinding to a T10 tank, it's a little bit better because you don't have to worry about, like, purchasing a sort of a broken, well, not broken, but like a collector T10 tank and going straight to T10 without grinding the entire line. Like, at least you have a bit more experience in that aspect. Like, you're a bit more experienced than you would if someone was to just purchase the tank outright, or like get it from crates. Like, I get it. But at the same time, it doesn't really help, because what happens is that you go to T10 and then you're coming up against these players who barely have any battles, that don't know what they're doing, and they're just performing at a very low level. And unfortunately, you see that way too often. And that is one of my grudges with how Wargaming have implemented it. If we don't have T10 collector tanks or T9 collector tanks, I wouldn't really have an issue with it, because, well, people will have to grind up to T10. But now they've just made it so much easier for anyone to obtain a T10 tank at this point. It's just pointless in basically arguing or saying anything. Because, as I said, the point I'm making is, you need experience. Like, you're going to get to T10, you need experience in how to play the game. And I think that's why people are saying that Blitz is dying, because there's too many younger players, or not younger players, but like too many inexperienced players at T10 who are playing in ratings battles and who are playing in, in like competitive matches and not really knowing what they're doing, which is no fault to them, right? It's just Wargaming shouldn't make it so easy for people to get to T10 without at least having some kind of experience at this level. Because let me tell you, T10 is very competitive at the moment, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get screwed. Simple as that. And that's just the reality. That's the reality of things. Now, in terms of the game itself, I wouldn't say necessarily the game itself is dying, but the player base is definitely changing constantly. A lot of the veteran players like myself have left the game because of certain aspects that have been implemented and certain aspects that haven't been implemented in the game, and I can understand why. And I think they sort of assumed that Blitz is just dying because of that. It's just, it's dying. Also, this IS-3 in this game, he kept pinging me saying, fall back, fall back, fall back. Like, dude, I understand. I get it. I know what I'm doing. Please stop spamming the freaking chat, for God's sake. Anyway. Now, what about the player base? What about the player base? Another thing that I guess people are assuming Blitz is dying for is the player base itself and the kind of attitude that some of these players have. For instance, here on the Apex server, there are some players who absolutely have no respect whatsoever to other players and to their teammates. Like he keeps, oh my god, like Manipula, I get it. Dude, stop pinging me, for God's sake, stop pinging me. Oh my god, like, use the chat only if you desperately need it. Stop pinging me, for God's sake. Also, I noticed that there's a Barracks there, and I switched to my Hesh because I wanted to high roll, but Still, I still did a nice amount of damage to him. Obviously, I'm going to switch to AP. I missed that shot completely, by the way. I don't know how the hell that happened. You grub. Anyway, back to the seriousness. Right, so, the player base. On Asia, it's ridiculous. Like, on Asia, you just get absolute muppets and stooges on this server that do not know how to respect each other, that are racist as all hell, that call the teammates and the enemy team dogs and F this and F that and F your mum, and I'm just like, dude, it's a video game. It's an online game. Like, chill. And what's even worse is when you have players who are playing, when you get players who are playing at, the fun game modes. Like, the fun game modes are designed for people to have fun in. They're not designed to care about winning. But instead, they're so adamant they want to win and whatnot in these fun game modes that they absolutely just have no respect or regard for anything. Watch this shot. Watch this shot. 484 damage headshot into the rear. I was telling myself when I played this match, I'm like 100% that's not gonna pen, and it penned. He got him right at the end. Oh god, it's shots like that that just make me enjoy the game so much and make me realize that the game isn't really dying. There are certain aspects they are. Like, don't get me wrong, certain aspects that really do make me believe that Blitz is dying. Like crates. Crates are just don't freaking buy them. God's sake, don't do our mistake where we buy these crates and say, "Oh, we're gonna get a tank." Yeah, just don't. Just please, for the love of God, stop buying these stupid crates. I did 3,200 damage in that game, which was nice in the Charlemagne. But yeah, like, fun game modes. Like, for God's sake, it's a freaking fun game mode. Stop complaining. Stop telling me F you and F your mum and you're a dog and, like, it's a fun game mode, for God's sake. Just stop. Just stop, for the love of God. Look, at the end of the day, I love Blitz. It's good to be back at it again, making content and, of course, playing the game. I've been playing this game for over 10 years. And I can comfortably say there are a lot of things that I would love to see back. And I'm making a video with my good friend Fabernacle. We've already made the video technically in terms of commentary-wise, but I need to add gameplay and whatnot. So stick around. It's going to be a great video. And it definitely highlights the things that we all miss in Blitz and what I think would be nice to be added back to sort of give Blitz new life. I think shed new life into Blitz and essentially just make it better. I think it's just better than what it is already. And to basically stop people thinking that it's going to die. I don't think necessarily Blitz is dying entirely, but there are certain aspects of this game that really do need to be fixed and reworked and reconsidered, and I know we can make it better. With the help of the Blitz community and Wargaming itself, and of course the community contributors and YouTubers like myself and other smaller YouTubers who are not CCs just yet but are planning on becoming CCs. We can make a difference. We can give Wargaming the feedback that they need to ensure that they don't kill the game entirely by making the decisions that they do. So that would be my advice. I think that would be my take on it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're enjoying the game as much as I am. Like, there are certain times when you just want to shut the game entirely off, and I can understand. And then there are just times where you want to keep playing because you enjoy the game and you want to enjoy your time in the game. So I'm going to leave it at there. I hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me in the comments down below what you think about Blitz dying and whether or not you reckon there should be other things that need to be added and removed from the game. Look after your friends and family. Peace in the Middle East. Look after yourselves as well. And stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.